Hello and welcome to a very windy and, to be frank, quite cold Highbrook End Model Railway. Good evening to you all. It is the evening before my Christmas special, the annual Highbrook End Model Railway Christmas special, and although the loft is decorated and I have the trains prepared and all ready for tomorrow, there is a massive list of jobs that need to be done. Now, some of these jobs are actually quite interesting, and I've just got the list in my hand now, so some of them involve filming this video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you a couple of the processes that I need to go through and some of the jobs that need doing before the stream tomorrow, just to give you an idea of the sort of things I have to prepare for and the amount of work I put in. So the Flying Scotsman needs servicing because that's had a little problem. The 3F Ginty needs reassembling after an incident with some super glue. Some signals need replacing, and also the Intercity coaches, which arrived just the other day. I need to show and clean them to you before the stream tomorrow. So some of these things are just going to be quick little things that I'll say, alright, I'm going to service the Flying Scotsman. I'll service it off camera and then show you the result just because I haven't got time to film it. And also I just want to be a little bit of a me bumbling about the loft video and getting jobs done and showing you all that sort of stuff. So the first thing on the agenda is going to be servicing the Flying Scotsman and reassembling the 3F Ginty. And then after that I'll show, well, I won't show you me fitting the signals, but I'll explain where the signals are going and why I am actually fitting some new ones. And plus we're going to replace this one down on the station here, just here, which had failed the other day midstream, and we're going to go through the process of what I'm going to do to fit that. So let's crack on with these jobs, and hopefully this will be a bit of an interesting video just to see what goes on behind the scenes at Highbrook End Model Railway. So first up, when I did the 3F Ginty service video the other day, I told you all I was going to glue the steps on, these front two steps on here, which indeed I did. However, when I came back the next day, because in that video I'd glued the steps on and then left them about 10 minutes to dry and then filmed the video, but when I came back the next day there was big like white streaks all up the side of the tanks, the water tanks here, and all around the boiler, and I think that's where there's been some air movement in the loft. It does get a little bit blowy up here sometimes, and I think what's happened is the fumes from the super glue have been like blown about by the wind, and then it's sort of attacked the plastic slightly, and it left a big white residue all over it. So what I actually did was, I can't remember if somebody in Discord, I know somebody in Discord suggested vinegar, which was going to be my next attempt after WD-40, but what I actually did was spray this entire front section where all the white marks were with WD-40, because, you know, WD-40 is generally, you can just about do anything with it, and I sprayed it with WD-40, and I think you'll agree it's done quite a good job. I mean, the stain was like the entire width of this tank here. It was awful. So I think you'll agree it's not looking too bad, and this is looking quite a respectable and presentable Loco now. So the first job, and unfortunately the simplest job, is to reassemble the 3F Ginty. So what needs to happen is, let me get this the right way around, the two prongs go in at the front like that, and then the clip goes in at the back. I'll grab my flat bladed screwdriver just to shove the back in, press down on the bottom, and then that's going to clip into place like that, and there is the 3F Ginty. So that's the Ginty assembled. We'll just check it's going to behave for tomorrow, because I suspect that a lot of people are going to be requesting that, considering it's a new Loco. I may give the body a rinse in some soapy water later as well, but let's reach over to the controller. Is it going to work? Yes, it works perfectly, as it did in the review. Not the review, sorry, the servicing video when I did that the other day. Yeah, that's fine. So that's job number 1 done. Job number 2 is to service the Flying Scotsman. Now, I thought it was going to be something much more serious, because this has been full stop not working until recently. But when I opened it up the other day, what I actually saw was one of the brushes had slipped out. So instead of the two brushes being like that, touching the commutator on either side, one had actually slipped like that. So there was absolutely no connection to the motor whatsoever. So I've put that back in place. However, as you can see, it's a little bit of a lumpy runner, so I think all that is, and now it's stalled on the points, I think all that is is that the wheels need cleaning because they are quite dirty and the track's filthy, which is another one of the jobs. So what I'm going to go do now is get some flying leads onto the Scotsman's motor and see if we can't clean the wheels and get it to be running. Yeah, you can see there, a little bit less lumpy. So I am going to go ahead and do that now. These cotton buds my grandma actually bought me. They're from Asda, I think. And rather than just being round at the end, they're pointy, so my grandma says, and they're flat at this end. So my grandma says they're actually a lot better for not disintegrating. Because when you use round ones, they generally just tend to go all fluffy and disintegrate. So my grandma's given me these, and if you're watching, Grandma, thank you very much indeed. They seem to be doing very well so far, so thank you very much. Okay then, that is the Flying Scotsman all serviced. I've left the body off just so you can see what's going on inside. I do actually need to find a replacement body screw for this because I seem to have misplaced the one that I took off a while ago. Still haven't been able to find it. Got none in my spares box. Is the motor stuck? Come on. Yeah, the motor's just a bit stalled there. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be running too badly. There's no awful noises. It's not dying over the point, so I think that's good enough to last us a few hours in the stream, don't you? It doesn't seem to like taking off. Is it because I'm being a bit too soft on the power? Let's try. Yeah, I think I wasn't turning it up enough. There we go. These trying motors do take a bit of oomph to get going. But yeah, I don't think that's running too badly, do you? If it's stuttering, I don't think that's anything up with the Loco. I think that's the fact that the track needs cleaning, which is what I'm going to do next. Okay then, that is the track all clean. As you can see, it's lovely and shiny once again. All the horrible black films being removed and every area of the layout is now lovely and shiny. So the next job is to test all of my Locos to make sure they're functional for tomorrow. If any have any problems or any issues, and if I need to do any servicing on them, I'll let you know and come straight back and let you know what's going to happen with that. I think this one could do with a wheel clean. It's a little bit lumpy. Yeah, there you go. Wheel clean for that one. A rather poorly Tornado with a missing smoke deflector. Need to get a body for that. But other than that, mechanically sound, running fine. Oh, a little bit of a stutter there. I'll give the axles a clean on that one in the tender, that's all it'll be. Oh, and you can hear then it stopped. Yeah, definitely needs something doing with that one. Here comes the Märklin German 03.10. How's it doing? Particularly treacherous points at the end of here. Perhaps move the camera like that. No problem at all. That's fit to run for tomorrow. And last but not least, certainly possibly the most beautiful steam engine in my collection, the D11, which is passed for tomorrow. So here are the Locos which didn't pass the test. I don't think there's anything majorly wrong with them. Golden Eagle was just stuttery, as was the little Highland Railway 040. Tornado after that, sorry not Tornado, Flying Scotsman, after that segment I failed, put it on the track to send it round, and yeah, it was just stuttering, making an awful screeching noise. So I think there might be a bit of metal caught between one of the wheels and the chassis, because these do have the magnesium, which does tend to attract all sorts of crap into the mechanism. So we will service those later today, and they'll be ready for tomorrow. I won't bother giving you any more updates on them, but the update is they will be serviced tonight and ready for the stream tomorrow. The next job now is to replace some signals. You may have seen the bag on the layout earlier. So these are signals, I think they were £13 for 5 off eBay. It's what I've used before for all the signals across the layout, such as there and over there. They're the exact same signals. I think they were just from a different supplier. They were a bit cheaper than I remember this time. And if you remember, if you were in the last stream, I think it was last Friday, so a week ago today, this signal here failed. The red and the green didn't work very well. I don't think the green actually lit at all at one point during the stream. So all I'm going to do is simply replace this signal. Not going to bother showing you the wiring because that needs to be done in a video of its own because it's very complicated and quite messy under there. But all I'm going to do is simply drop this signal through the hole. In fact, I can do that on camera now. Reconnect it up exactly how the previous one was connected before, and then we'll give it a test just to make sure both are working. And then across the other side of the layout, because I had to buy a pack of 5 signals, I think Timber Valley Productions actually did find some replacement signal heads that you could insert the wires into yourself and solder up the LED yourself, but I just thought they were actually slightly more expensive when you accounted for postage and delivery and the actual cost. I think actually the replacement signal heads cost more than just the 5 signals, and I made a terrible job at fitting the LEDs into the signal heads, and it wouldn't have looked right, and they weren't going to come before the Christmas special. So I thought, you know what, it's £13, I'll get the replacement 5 signals, I'll fit some more where some more really could do with fitting that I didn't fit when I first fitted the rest of them, and then aside from that I can just, if any more fail, because they are only cheap, I can simply just drop some more in and connect them up. So I'll go and connect these 2 signals back up to the point motor and the switching circuit to make them go red and green, and then we'll make sure that they do in fact actually work. So that is that signal all nicely wired up correctly in the red-green sort of thing, so that the train now on the main line cannot pass the signal because the signal's set to red, as the points are set in the siding for a train to go into the siding. So then if I change the points, if I just take a moment to find the correct switch, which I believe is that one, when I flick it, you can see the red and the green change. The mainline train can now pass. The points pass the signal, the points are set for the main line, but the train in the siding now can't come out. Signal's set to red. If it tries to come out, it'll derail. So that's all wired up, and now I have actually just realised I said I was going to use some of these signals to wire up some more signals on the other side of the layout. I have actually just realised I don't have enough connector blocks, enough chock blocks, the sort of white things that you can screw wires into. I haven't actually got enough of them to do that today, which is alright really. It saves me some time, and at least the layout's how it was, you know, with this signal back working again. So I'll go over the other side of the layout and explain what I intended to do, but that'll probably be done in the new year now when I can get some connector blocks. So yeah, let's go and explain what's going on with the signals on the other side. So in the new year, when I get my hands on some connector blocks, what I'm actually going to intend to do is add, let me just count, 2 more signals to this mainline selection of points and signals over here. Now you can see on the 3rd radius we have a crossover, so from the 3rd radius there to the 2nd radius there we have a crossover, and that's indicated by signals. So if I change the points, excuse me while I find the correct button, very difficult to see from over here. 3rd to 2nd radius, if I open the points you can see the signals change. So the mainline train here is set to red for going ahead, because that then it's going into the crossover, and similarly over there that signal for the mainline train is set to red because it's going into the crossover. What I didn't want to do was add a signal for the mainline and a signal for the crossover, simply because on analog it's impossible to have a train on the crossover and also have a train on the main line at the same time, because you can only run one train at the same time. So that's why I've just got the one signal to indicate which direction the points are set at. And plus, if I added too many more signals, you know, if I had double signals for crossover and mainline, it'd get very, very crowded over here, which is not something that I wanted. However, on the other side, when I wired the layout, for some reason, which honestly I can't remember, and I realised when I tried to explain this in the stream the other day, this is my power bank, that the reason why I didn't put any signals over here, I tried to explain it and then I thought, hang on a minute, that doesn't actually make any sense. So what I'm actually going to do in the new year is, again, similar how I have done on the 3rd to 2nd radius crossover over there, I'm now going to add a signal for the points crossover here and a signal for the points crossover there, just so it is all the same and just so it makes a bit more sense. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This point actually needs replacing as well. I do need to order probably a 100-gram bag of this same ballast, because I haven't got any more. I've run out, because this point needs changing, because I knackered it when I was drilling from underneath and routing out underneath. What happened was I accidentally went too far, cracked the point tie bar, and now the point's just loose and horrible and broken. I've tried to fix it with various bits of plastic, but when the point motor's throwing it across, it's really not strong enough. So that's actually a Christmas present, is a right-hand point to go in there. So after Christmas, I need to order some more ballast, probably 100 grams I think is the least I can get of this stuff, just to re-tidy that up. I'll rip the point out. We've not got any power connections over here, which is good, so it's as simple as lifting the point out, well, removing the ballast, dissolving all the glue, lifting the point out, putting the new one in, ballast in, and then simply just sliding the point motor back through the tie bar and screwing it into place. So that will be done after Christmas. I did intend to fit the signals today, but as I said, I haven't got enough connector blocks. I've just realised that before filming this segment. So that will be done after Christmas, and to be fair, all I wanted to do with that signal over here, if I pan round, this signal over here, is just restore it to how it was, how the layout was before the Christmas special, because if that didn't work, you know, people would be thinking, oh, it doesn't work. Whereas if something, you know, because this wasn't actually here before, it doesn't matter that I can't fit it today. It's just something I want to do while I was doing the other one. So yeah, that will be fitted after Christmas, and a very me addition to the Christmas tree. Do you like my spark plug bauble? Now we move on to the end of the video, so that's pretty much all the jobs ticked off on my list. So what have we done? We've cleaned the tracks, tested the locos, I've tested the points and the signals off camera, the computer is going to set up later tonight, the Flying Scotsman is going to be serviced tonight, and all the other locos. The required microphone and receiver and keyboard is on charge. The 3F jint has been reassembled. We've added that, well, we've replaced that signal over here and talked about replacing those there. And now we come on to the interesting part, which is some coaches, in fact 2 sets of coaches I've purchased recently. Now, the reason why I have gone for these are actually LNER coaches, but they're virtually identical to the Virgin Trace East Coast ones. The reason why I have gone for these 3 coaches is because I want to recreate a full HST set of a Virgin Trains East Coast, well, HST. And this is because this is actually the first train I ever remember going on, so it's something I'm quite eager to recreate. It's quite expensive, I'll admit, but what I want to do is recreate a full 9-coach Virgin Trains East Coast. I'll just call it VTEC from now on, just to save the really long garble of words. So that's what I want to try and recreate, and these are not actually Virgin Trains East Coast coaches, as I said at the start. These are actually LNER coaches, but because I think LNER acquired Virgin Trains East Coast, I acquired that franchise, they are basically the exact same coaches. So these were from Hatton's. I believe they should have been around about £35 each, something like that. But the C coach there and the D coach there were £15 each, and the E coach I think was £25, and with delivery that came to something like £59 something. Basically £60 for 3 coaches, which is normally a little bit more than I like to spend on coaches. You know, I am from the north, I am from Yorkshire, I am quite cheap. But because these are, you know, were heavily discounted, way under half price for these 2. And quite a good discount on this one, I thought, you know what, at some point I'm going to have to buy them. I might as well buy them now when they're on discount. So yeah, these all came in at £60. We have the C coach in here. We have the D coach in there. Again, I've had these out already just to check there was nothing wrong with them. And there is the E coach in there. Now, I am not going to unbox these today because at the start of the new year I'm actually going to do a full unboxing and review of these against the white background. I'll do it properly. In fact, I'll probably, which one will I review? They're all basically identical. They're all TSOs, I think. So I'll pick a random letter and we'll review that coach because they're all identical, and we'll do that properly in the new year. So contain your excitement for a couple more weeks. These will be reviewed in the new year. And as for the power cars, a company called Electrorail produce vinyl graphics for a wide range of locos, and HSTs I think are the main ones, and basically they're just like graphics that you can sort of very carefully stick onto the side of power cars, and they actually produce a LNER HST which is in a similar style to the coaches. They're sort of white with the red swoosh down the side, but they don't actually produce a Virgin Trains East Coast one. But fortunately for me, the LNER one, as I say, the LNER HST is very similar to the Virgin Trains East Coast one, apart apart from where the LNER logo is here on that actual design, it's just the Virgin logo there. So I've emailed them. They haven't yet got back to me. I know they're sorting some paperwork out so they can open the shop. So hopefully they get back to me soon, and hopefully it's not too difficult for them to just change a logo and reprint it in their whatever software they use, the design software, and then I'll be able to reapply the livery, the decals, all the way down this HST, all the way down this HST power car, and then we'll have, well, at that moment we'll have 3 coaches and 2 power cars, but eventually we'll be able to work our way up to a full set of Virgin Trains East Coast HST. So that's the plan for that. I've decided I'm not going to run these coaches aside from in the review just to check how they're free rolling. In fact, I will put them, because it's a Virgin HST, I will put them with the Virgin HST, but after that, to save everybody dying in shame because it's the wrong coach format, the wrong rolling stock combo, these are going to go away after the review until these power cars have fully been redecaled, and hopefully Electra Rail can pull through on that. Crunching of bubble wrap as things go in drawers. Right, the next thing involves some coaches, which you'll excuse me, I'll have to open the box on camera because you're not having my address as much as I like you all. I have bought some Intercity Mk.2 coaches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're wondering when I'm going to stop counting, aren't you? And it's now because I've bought 9 Intercity coaches. Now I don't intend to keep all of these at all. So I got the... Yes, I have got the price sheet in here. So these came... They were on an auction, and I think they also had a buy it now option. So the auction started at £45, and I think the buy it now price was £85. I was the only person who bid on this. I think I put like a £51.73 bid on, or some sort of odd number like that. But I actually got this for the start price on this slip, as you can see, of £45 plus £3.29, and it was quite a big box. Came to a total of £48.29 for these 9 coaches, and I will actually get my money back. Well, I might get a significant portion of my money back, I should say, sorry, on these, because I am actually going to sell some. I certainly don't need 9. 9 coaches on my layout would look a little bit stupid. The only reason I'm making an exception for the East Coast HST is because this is a train I've actually been on in real life, so I'm going to allow, you know, a stupid long train like that, because it's something I'm really eager about recreating. But what I'm going to do is probably keep all the Lima ones of these, sell the Hornby ones, because they are quite a little bit different to the Lima ones, and then probably use that money to buy some more Lima ones at a later date. I might keep this Hornby one though, because if I can get a Lima one, that's not a Lima one, that's a Lima one. As you can see, they're not that dissimilar, just because the other Hornby ones have like a silver around the windows, which looks a little bit daft and toy-like if you ask me. I am probably going to keep one of the Hornby ones just because it does look quite similar to the Lima one. And yeah, that was one thing, as you can see, there is a bogie missing on there. That was one thing. The listing did mention that one of the bogies for one of the Lima ones doesn't actually stay in place. I think there's a clip broken on there, so I'll fashion some piece of metal to act as a clip to clip back in there. But once it's laid down on the track and once the weight of the coach is on the bogie, it does run fine. So I just need to devise some method to hold that in there. So the coaches are, this is a Hornby one, all got metal wheels actually, which is really nice. I'm going to keep this Hornby one because it is like the Lima ones, unlike the other Hornby ones, which I'll show you in a minute. So that's the first one there. This one is a Lima one. I think, is that a first class one because it's got the yellow stripe? I think that's how it works. So yeah, they're pretty nice, these. Again, metal wheels. Number 2, this is also a Lima one. Very similar to the first one. Very nice. This one is a Lima one with the broken bogie that's just dropped on and skedaddled its way across the loft. You've already seen that, I've shown you that one just a few moments ago. This one is a Hornby one. It's got the silver round the windows, And yeah, if I get a non-broken Lima one, this is a brake, well, it's a guard actually. They are, you know, quite, they look the same, but the silver around the windows just makes it look really quite odd to me. So I think what I'm going to do is sell the Hornby ones and get some more Lima ones. So I have got a set, you know, that are basically the same. I think the only reason why I'm going to keep this Hornby one is, again, there's no silver around the windows, so I'm alright with this. But as Timber Valley Productions suggested, the Lima ones are a lot better than the Hornby ones. This is a Lima one. I think this is standard class because it's not got a yellow stripe. I think that's how it works. Somebody will shout at me if I'm wrong. And then the rest... Oh no, we've got one more Lima one. There we go. We've got a Hornby Intercity Sleeper, which I'm not bothered about. It doesn't look that good. The silver looks terrible. You can't really see it because it's so bright. If I dim the exposure, yeah, you can see the silver around the windows now. Yeah, there's no point having a sleeper coach on my layout. It's not, you know, it's just trains going in a loop. There's no reason to have a sleeper. There's not even 2 stations, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I definitely don't need the sleeper one, and I'm not really that keen on how it looks. So I'll just give this a wash and sell it. And the final Hornby one, a Buffy car. Again, there's no real need for a Buffy car on my layout. There's not going to be... I do, like, mock-up rail tours sometimes, but there's just no need for a Buffy car on my layout. And again, dropping the exposure, I'm not all that keen on the silver around the windows either. Even if it's prototypical, I'm just not all that pleased with it. So that's the Intercity rake for £45. What was it? Where's the slip? Oh, it's £45 and £48.29 with the postage. So yeah, I think that's a really good deal if you ask me. I'm going to sell the Hornby ones, which are those 2, that was one of them. So I'm going to sell those 3 Hornby ones on the right, keep the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left, and then I'll think maybe about possibly buying one more Lima one, so I have 7 coaches, although I think 6 is a pretty nice rake. I'm going to sell these 3, get some of my money back from that 48.29, and then consider maybe, I'm not fully 100% decided on this yet, might buy one more Lima one, just so that I have a 7 coach rake, which I think which sounds like a pretty nice long number. So what I'm going to go do now, off camera, is I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to give these all a nice clean. I won't have time to fathom anything to fix that bogey today, so I'll just have to be mindful of that during tomorrow's stream. I'm going to go down and give these coaches all a nice clean in some lukewarm soapy water, mainly lukewarm so my hands don't get hypothermia, and I'm going to go and give these a clean. And again, like with the Locos over on the left, because I want tomorrow to be a little bit of a surprise, I am going to clean them off camera, and then you can wait tomorrow to see how these all come up. They'll probably look very similar, they might just look a little bit less old and tired by tomorrow. So yeah, thank you very much indeed for watching today's video, everyone. We've ticked off a right list of jobs, and now in fact I can tick off the clean Intercity coaches box on my list, because I'm not going to be coming back up here until later, and these will be clean by then. So jobs to do off camera are to service those 3 Locos. I'll do that tonight. Set up the computer, which will take all of 5 minutes, and just make sure all of everything's in order for today, and clean these and charge all of the microphones and the headset and stuff for the stream. So thank you very much indeed for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this little job ticker off video. Hope it's been interesting to see some behind the scenes work, and hopefully the idea of these coaches is a good idea, and hopefully these will all come up nice for tomorrow. Really looking forward to getting the HST power cars for these coaches. I think that should be really good. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do hope to see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for the Highbrook End Model Railway Christmas special. And as to that, I've been George from Highbrook End Model Railway.